Hello friends and welcome back to our homestead. Today I'm going to be harvesting some of my beautiful lemon balm herb. I've done a video about it before, but I feel like there's just so much to learn about this herb and I feel like I want to share more about it. So I'm going to be harvesting a few of these beautiful branches and I'm going to show you how I'm going to preserve it, how I'm going to use it, and why I absolutely love to have lemon balm in my apothecary closet, because it is a versatile, but it's a wonderful plant to have on hand all year round. So come with me as I harvest some of this beautiful herb. All right, hold on. I have all these weeds here growing because that means that the soil is nice and rich. Weeds will not grow in poor soil. Okay, so here is my Melissa officinalis, or as we know it, lemon balm. And most herbalists will tell you that the best time to harvest it actually before it blossoms. But you know, I'm a little bit late to the game. I did grab a whole bunch before it blossomed. See these beautiful little flowers right here. Very gentle, mildly pink to lavender colors. Very, very pretty. The bees absolutely love this plant. So before it went into bloom, I had time to run out and cut a bunch and I dehydrated. But you know what? I didn't have a time to turn on the camera. So I did not have a chance to tell you how much, absolutely how much I love this plant and how it was so essential in my healing after the fire a few years ago. So today I'm just going to be harvesting a few of these branches. I don't need too much. And I'm going to preserve it in one of my medicinal preparations, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Let me tell you, this plant is super invasive. I know some people don't like when I say that, but yes, you plant one bush and it will overtake your herbal garden. But there's a reason sometimes I feel why God allows this certain plants to be so invasive. We've had a couple of weeks without rain in New England, so some of the leaves are turning a little brown, but it's okay. I will just trim and remove what I don't need, and the rest I'm going to save. You know, sometimes we call these plants invasive because they will spread through your herbal garden so quickly. That's why sometimes people plant them only in a pot or in a container, so it kind of stays in a contained area. But for me, it's in a big open space here under a tree. And sometimes, you know, we wonder why certain plants are so invasive. Well, maybe because God wants us to have a lot of them. Maybe because they're so versatile and they have these beautiful herbs, so many uses, and because we actually need it. Oh, look at this beautiful bug. Come on, little kuznechik. Kuznechik, jump. Jump, buddy, jump. Oh, come on, I'm gonna shush you away. There you go. Off you go, buddy. Off you go. All right, so in Greek, this plant was called honeybee. And yes, honeybees absolutely love lemon balm because they're attracted to this very mild fragrance to pollinate. So that's why we see many bugs on them. So as always, I like to bring this plant to my porch and sit and work on the porch with this plant. So come with me to my porch. I was able to harvest a pile of these beautiful herbs about 2.5 weeks ago, right before they went into blossom, and I dried them all up in my dehydrator. And you guys know that I love to use dehydrator to preserve, run bug, run, to preserve my herbs. Because it's the best way to remove moisture. It's a very controlled environment. I know it's not going to get moldy later. And then I store everything in a jar. Notice how I have a big, gigantic jar. So what I did was, after I dehydrated them, I only used the aerial parts. Aerial parts meaning just the leaves with the little branches, and that's it, not the roots. And I store them in a glass jar in my apothecary closet, away from the sunlight, and then I use it when I need it. And as a matter of fact, I always make a label. Obviously, I have to make a label, and I will even leave like a little note what it's good to be used for. So in case it's not just me who's using it, but somebody from my family, they will see the label and they'll know what it's for. So I did make a cup of tea using these dried leaves, and it has, even though I added a little slice of lemon, it already has a very mild lemony taste. It is in the mint family, so if you have an allergy to mint, lemon balm is not for you. But overall, it's a very safe plant. Now, please stay and listen as I share later in the video about, there are some precautions about lemon balm. It's a wonderful plant. We need to know it. We need to know how to use it. But there are a couple of precautions. So I did make this delicious tea that I'm going to be enjoying it on my porch. The reason why I love to use I work with my herbs on a porch because, as you saw me earlier, these are organic herbs. They are fragrant, and just like us humans, the bugs love them too. So I want to give a chance for these bugs to run away when I am here sitting on the porch. Of course, if it's a rainy day, I'm going to be in my kitchen, but otherwise I'm here on my porch. Some of the petals are already falling off. Okay, so the herbal literature usually says that harvesting is best before blossoming, but I can testify that in the past I did miss the mark and I harvested while blossoming, and it was just as good. But the recommendation still stands to harvest it before blossoming. So this was before blossoming. So what is lemon balm and what is it good for? As I mentioned, the Latin name is Melissa officinalis, and it's a beautiful plant. It's similar to mint. It also has a square stem, and it has leaves that alternate on the side. Very, very similar, but obviously the aroma is very different. And if you break it in your hands, kind of mush it, massage it together, it has a little bit almost like a lemon aroma. When my husband runs over with a lawnmower, when it's growing in the grass, the whole backyard fills the aroma of lemon balm. Okay, so that being said, what is lemon balm used for? Well, it has a very strong yet gentle GABA genetic kind of properties. GABA is that neurotransmitter that is responsible for relaxation. Not necessarily sedation, but definitely relaxation. So this plant is often used when anyone who is dealing with anxiety, panic attack, that sort of thing, or like wired but yet tired. So that's what lemon balm is often used. It's a beautiful plant, okay? I suggest everyone should be growing that in their backyard. Well, since I already made plenty of dried herb, I'm not going to be focusing on that today. It's going to be wonderful for making tea and infusions. And infusions is something that steeps them a whole lot longer. And if you guys want to learn how to make infusions, I have a whole video, the difference between cold infusion, hot infusion. So please watch that video. I can put up a link in a description box so you guys can click on that and watch it. It's a good knowledge to have, okay? So since I already have dried, I'm going to be making another preparation, and that is going to be a tincture. And a tincture is just a fancy name for extract using some sort of a solvent. And I have a strong solvent, my friend. I have 100 proof vodka. I know, hey, listen, I know so many of you like to use glycerin, which is fine, and you can use vinegars or wines. Those are fine, but not the same as 100 proof vodka. Because in 100 proof vodka, first of all, it's going to have that strong alcohol property that is able to extract medicinal properties from this herb, as well as water. Because yes, there's a lot of moisture left over in a fresh herb, and there's 50% water in this vodka as well. So, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. All right, so I have my glass jar. I always use a glass jar. I need to create more surface area from this plant. And if you want to, you can break them off from a plant if you like, you know, just like from the stem, I mean, you can do that and then cut it up with either a knife or scissors or anything else like that. So I'm just going to be using a pair of scissors, and I'm going to be cutting and dropping right into the jar. Simple, simple, simple. It's not complicated whatsoever. You know, sometimes when I look at the prices of tinctures online at different herbal stores, I understand it's business, but oh my goodness, they are so expensive. It's a fraction of the cost to make it yourself. Really, fraction of the cost. So all I'm doing, I'm just cutting it up and putting it in the jar. That's all I'm doing right now. So let's talk about the actions that this wonderful plant has. Absolutely wonderful plant. So yes, it does have that GABA property, meaning that it's helpful to relax, to kind of take the tension off, and even it's helpful in spasms. So my goodness, people use this, as a drink. They put it in infusions and teas to help you relax, help you fall asleep. It helps to take the stress away, but it's also can be taken in a stronger form, which is going to be a tincture. And those you're going to be taking in drops later. So panic attacks, lemon balm is your friend. Okay, so I'm going to just keep cutting in here. So lemon balm is a wonderful plant to use when someone who has cold or flu. As a matter of fact, on my dry herb, I listed right at the top that it can be used during a cold or flu. And not because it's antibacterial, not necessarily, but because it's helpful to perk you up a little bit. Let me explain. You know, when somebody, well, your family members or maybe yourselves or myself, when we get sick with cold or flu, we feel miserable. We're moping around, we're kind of miserable, we're like, can't find a comfortable place. Well, the reason why we may feel that way is because immune response, cytokines in the immune response make all of us react differently. Some of us feel very depressed when we're sick with cold or flu. Some of us feel like very sleepy and very groggy. So lemon balm is a fantastic aid to perk you up and kind of lift up your spirits a little bit when you're dealing with cold and flu. I think, that's just my personal opinion, that God, our creator, is an amazing, amazing creator, because he knows when we're dealing with garbage such as cold and flu, we have a little aid to help us to feel better. Okay, so I've mentioned depression, I've mentioned anxiety, I've mentioned panic attacks, I've mentioned spasms and tension. It's a wonderful aid, but also it helps with sleep. It's not a sedative necessarily for sleep like poppy seed or other herbs. No, not at all. But let me, if you don't mind, I want to share my story with you. So about 3 years ago, I had an unfortunate accident of fire. And I had pretty severe burns, second and third degree burns. I was in a hospital for a little bit over a month in ICU, lots of complications, skin grafts, you name it, I had it. So what happened is that for dressing changes that were required to be done daily, I had to receive sedation for those dressing changes because they were pretty extensive. And I was prescribed the medication for nerve pain that usually prescribed for nerve pain. But the side effects, unfortunately, once you come off of those medications, are not the most pleasant. And what I was dealing with is that I could not sleep. Even after I was discharged home, I could not sleep. And even if I fell asleep, I would be awakened again in a couple of hours. And that was absolutely a miserable time in my life. So I basically did not sleep for about 6 months. I've tried different things. Some of them were literally more on a sedative side, which I did not want to take. I did not want to have, because some of them had an addictive properties to them. So I don't want to mention them right now. All I want to say is that what did help, that was not addictive. It was gentle enough yet it was very effective. It was a combination of 3 herbs that I used to make a nice infusion. It was a little bit stronger than tea. Tea is the most mild way of taking any herb. Tea is very mild. It's fun, it's delicious, it's enjoyable, but it's mild. Now, an infusion is the next step up next to tea. And that requires much longer time to prepare. So I made infusions of combination of 3 herbs: lemon balm, catnip, and chamomile. Those 3 herbs created very rich, fragrant infusion that I put a little honey in it. And I would drink that, and within an hour or two, I would go to bed, relaxed, and I would fall asleep. So this plant was instrumental in my recovery after the fire. So I'm not saying that that is something that everyone can be helpful, but it was definitely very helpful to me. And many people laugh when I mention the word catnip. Yes, catnip is not just for cats. I have a wonderful video about catnip and how great that herb is as well. But today we're talking about lemon balm. I need to fill up about 3/4 of the way up. This is kind of like a simple folk method without measuring. I'm just going to go 2/3 up to the top of the jar, filling up my herbs. So I just pushed it down a little bit, and I have more space to go. You know, back in the 18th century, this herb, lemon balm, was often being referred as, and I took note, it was referred as renew youth, as longevity herb. So I'm not sure about that, but I can tell you that it makes you feel a little better, and it gives a little pep in your step. So I have done some research in the past that lemon balm can be given to students before an exam, for example, and it will help to take that anxiety off, but yet give you concentration. So I think it's a pretty fun property that this plant has. You know, it can give you that energy when you need it, but at the same time relax you. Okay, so besides having these properties, it also has lots of minerals and vitamins. Well, as far as vitamins, it has vitamin B, C, and D. It also has iron. It also has potassium, calcium, and some zinc and selenium. It has some other a very small amount of micronutrients and minerals in it. Nothing to be, nothing too much. All right, so I think I'm almost there. I just have a last branch left. I will use it up. Okay, so tincture is used in drops, okay, in small amounts. You can start with 5 drops, increase to 10, and even 15, which is about equivalent to 1 dropper full. Okay, so that is a tincture, and I like to keep it on my shelf because it's quick. You don't have to steep anything, you don't have to infuse anything. It's sort of very quick. You can dilute with a little bit of water, or just take dropper full right under the tongue and swallow, chasing with a little bit of water. Done. And that's why I like to have a tincture available, okay, because it takes no time to take it, and it gets stored in a brown dark bottle, and like I said, it sits on your shelf for a very long time. So why not? Okay, so here's my herb is all set. Let's add a little bit of my 100 proof vodka to the top, and I want to make sure that it fills up between all the nooks and crannies. I need to make sure that it's everywhere, okay? And let me tell you, this tincture will last me a very long time, because right now, let me just pour it all the way to the top. Okay, all the way to the top. I'm gonna put a cover, oh, wrong cover. I'm gonna put a cover on, and I'm gonna quickly shake it to make sure that it fills up between all the nooks and crannies. Okay, so I'm just gonna see how it's bubbling up everywhere. So I need to make sure that it fills up everywhere. Because I don't want any herb to be sticking up above the liquid. Okay, see how it's perfect on the top? Perfect. That's exactly how it should be. And always I have to put a label on. I have to say what's in it. I mixed with vodka when I made it, and I put a tentative date when I should be straining it. And when I strain it, I will use a press to press it all out, or put it through a cheesecloth. And then, my friends, we will go into a dark amber bottle. Okay. Generally, lemon balm is a very safe herb to use, unless you have mint allergy, but those are rare. Anyway, there's still some precautions. Well, number one of the precautions is that there's not enough research about whether pregnant ladies can use it or during breastfeeding. I can tell you that I do know personally that people do use it during pregnancy, and they do use it during breastfeeding, but there is not enough research to say that it's safe one to be used during that time period. Also, if you are taking any sleeping medications or sedative medications, this herb can intensify a sedation process, possibly. Or if you are scheduled for any kind of a surgical procedure where you're going to be sedated for that procedure, also taking this herb on a daily basis possibly could increase the sedation. Now, again, drinking tea, enjoying that as an enjoyment is not as strong as if you were using a tincture. And you know how I mentioned to you that tinctures will eventually become like this? They're going to be in a dark brown bottle, okay? And it's going to be in drops, literally in drops. All right? So the other precaution is that this may interfere with the thyroid medication. So if somebody who's taking it as a tincture, especially because it's a little stronger, it may be contraindicated if you're taking thyroid medications. And also, one more precaution that we need to pay attention: it may increase intraocular pressure. So people who have glaucoma, this may be contraindicated for you. So I'm glad you're still watching this video, because a lot of times people watch only in the beginning and they don't continue. But guess what? We learn a whole lot more if we watch the whole thing. So those are the precautions, but otherwise it's generally delicious and safe. So besides taking it as a tea, infusion, or as a tincture, this can be used also externally. Okay, so let me explain what that means. So externally, there's such a thing that lemon balm can be infused in oil. Okay, so this is oil, for example. See that? Liquid oil. Not to confuse with essential oil. Essential oil is very concentrated, very strong, and should not be used internally. 1 drop of good quality essential oil is equivalent to 30 cups of tea. Can you imagine drinking 30 cups of tea all at once? That's too much. So that is why essential oil, okay, because lemon balm is so high in volatile oils, an essential oil should not be used internally, only externally. So essential oil or infused lemon balm oil can be used in salves, in creams, in massage therapy, to help to relax, to release depression, to release tension, to release anxiety, and that sort of thing. It also can be used in a massage to relieve that spasms and even gout. So infused oil, again, is very different than essential oil, okay? This can be used topically very easily. You can apply to a sore muscle, massage it, and it will help to relax it a little bit. Also, essential oil can be used in aromatherapy. In aromatherapy, that is when you have that diffuser, you know, that you plug in and it releases steam. That's what the essential oil is often used. And lemon balm essential oil can be used during bronchitis, asthma, or respiratory infection. Why? Because it helps to relax tightness in the bronchial tree. Again, helps patients to breathe, people to breathe when they are dealing with bronchitis or asthma. So I don't have essential oil, but I do have infused oil, and I have dried, and I have tincture in the making here. So lemon balm is a fantastic herb to grow, to know, to love, and to have on your shelves in a apothecary, because it will help you to relax if there's any tension. It will help to remove that anxiety, help to concentrate if you're worried about something. It's going to help to fall asleep gently without sedation. It's a great herb to have. And also, when you're moping around, when you have flu or cold, it helps to put a little pep in your step. So on this note, friends, I hope you love and learn about lemon balm as much as I do. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I share a lot about different herbs and different preparations and different recipes, and about homesteading and about cooking, you name it. Subscribe, become part of our community. Let's share our thoughts, leave a comment. So be encouraged and try something new.